if you're being held hostage. I fucking hate this shit. I fucking hate it. What's up, Mr. Timones?
Happy Pride Month. How are you celebrating?
Well, I saw a thing on the interwebs the other day that said,
like a thing.
Every time you jerk off, you're getting a hand job from a guy. So that's how I'm celebrating Pride Month.
Sweet.
I'm just rubbing one out, and I'm getting a hand job from a guy.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's how are you celebrating it?
I actually bought a couple DVDs the other day, so that's how I celebrated.
Did you get Brokeback Mountain? What'd you get?
No, I got The Shining.
Oh,
It's kind of a birthday gift for my daughter. She'd never seen it.
Oh, right on.
And then I got
You're trying to bring
Gettysburg.
your daughter.
Yeah. I got Gettysburg. So I already had the DVD for, but it was like it scratched up and you had to like flip it over in the middle of it because it was so long. Well, I got the Blu-ray version and it's even longer. Like I was like watching, I was like, I don't remember this part. And I was like, oh shit, I guess maybe they didn't have to cut it down because it's Blu-ray or I don't know. But it's 4.5 hours long.
I'm trying to remember. Is that the one where they show like So I remember a famous a movie that got a lot of traction. This is early 2000s where it had God, I'm trying to remember the name of the actors, but it really goes into the beginning of the Civil War, and it was like
No, this is just about Gettysburg.
Okay. There was you know what I'm talking about though? And it was like 3 or 4 hours long Civil War movie. And I'm trying to remember some of the actors in it, but it was really like more in the beginning, and it was showing like how some of the more famous Confederate generals like Stonewall Jackson. And I think
was it Gods and Generals?
Maybe that's it, because it does show Stonewall Jackson getting shot at one of the battles.
Yeah. Yep. That was played by Stephen Lang. And Stephen Lang was Pickett in Gettysburg.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember who else who
Jeff
played,
Daniels was Chamberlain in both movies. You froze up. Are you about to sneeze? Are you gonna come? Okay,
No.
You're back. You were like this.
Oh. Yeah, that was I'm getting a hand job from a guy right now. So.
Nice.
Nice.
So Gettysburg was based on a book by a guy named Michael Shara. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it was called The Killer Angels. And then his son, Michael Shara or whatever, wrote like a kind of a prequel novel to it called Gods and Generals. And in like 2003 or something like that, they made it a movie. And Jeff Daniels was actually like 10 years older in that movie than he was in Gettysburg, but he played a younger version of Joshua Chamberlain. And I can't remember who Robert E. Lee was. I think it was, goddamn, I have the DVD, obviously. A famous actor. Like, I don't know. I guess you could Google it. Robert.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to think of. He was in like, oh my God, Open Range. Robert Duvall.
Yeah,
that's who I was trying to think of. Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
I keep saying Robert Duvall like I'm some kind of fucking alien life form. Robert, come here.
Robert. Come on,
Robert.
Hello, Roberts.
It's like I'm from Boston or something. Robert.
Yeah. Bobby.
So
Bobby Kennedy.
It's kind of interesting that you brought that up, because I saw a Facebook post today, and I got a lot of amusement out of it. So this gal that I always make fun of on my other podcast, she posted something from a PhD. So it must be true. Yeah, foot. This is from Jamar Tisby Food.
Oh,
Check this out. Well,
all right.
I'll let you get your take on it, Eric.
All right.
Most Confederate soldiers didn't own enslaved people. The wealthy planter class did. But non-slave-holding white Southerners fought for the Confederacy anyway because slavery wasn't just an economic system. It was a racial order that promised them privilege and superiority. The same pattern is happening today when working class voters support policies that primarily benefit billionaires. Racial and cultural identity gets people to act against their own economic interest. Forget the second half,
Okay.
the first half. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe this Jamar Tisby Fudd is onto something, but I thought that they fought in the Civil War because they didn't like the federal government encroaching in on them after
Yeah.
they seceded and
Yeah.
said, no, we don't agree with the northern states imposing their will on us. And so because yes, there were Robert E. Lee didn't agree with slavery. He didn't fight the Civil War because he wanted to be privileged and superior. He did it because he didn't agree with he was a constitutionally, again, you can
Lee,
just go ahead. Sorry.
Lee was a, very successful, popular general. And then when the Civil War started, this is what I know of him. He couldn't fight against Virginia. Like a lot of those guys, I mean, they had state pride because that's like when you back before like the Civil War, you were from, what are you? I'm a Missourian, right? Or I'm a Texan or whatever. Before you're an American. And yeah, the South was very big on states' rights.
Mhm.
And I mean, part of it was states' rights to own slaves. And yes, I honestly do think that, I mean, from what I've read a couple books about the Civil War. There's one really good one that kind of goes all the way back to the beginning of American history, and it really does focus on slavery, but it gets into the economic stuff and the political stuff too, other than slavery. But now where was I going with that? But no, like, yeah, slavery was not on everybody's mind. I mean, it was not the main reason they did it. The Union troops, like the troops themselves, were just fighting because they were in the army. You know what I mean? It's like if you joined the army and had to go to Iran, do you have a problem with Iran? You know what I mean? Like you might not, but hey, it's my job. The Southerners were more of I'm fighting for my homeland and my state,
And
and
the sovereignty, right?
they were tired of the Federalists just wanting to make it more of a a bigger federal government, right? And having the federal government have more power than the state government.
Yep.
So, but there is also there were a lot of politicians from the South that were like, no, black people will never be equal to, like, there was a debate that Abe Lincoln did with some guy, some other politician. I can't remember who it was, but it was probably back in like the 1850s or something. And he was like, Lincoln, this guy, he wants not only to free the slaves, but he wants black people to be considered equal to white people. And he was like, do you want that? Like asking the crowd that. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff too. I do kind of agree with that, with the food.
Well, and it's the thing is, Yeah, that was maybe the politicians.
Yeah, but the
But
troops, they
enlisted
weren't like,
men,
"Oh, we gotta make sure these plantation owners have slaves." They didn't give a shit.
well, and the thing is too is up until, I mean, not too long before the Emancipation Proclamation, I mean, Lincoln offered to give the blacks an island and ship them all there. He wasn't pro, like he wasn't anti-slavery from the beginning. He considered them less than a human being, and it's like that's what irritates me. Everybody, kids come out of school and they think the Civil War was about slavery. It's like no, it wasn't. Slavery was not even in the equation until like halfway through it or more. It was not.
Well,
It I mean, Lincoln. There are written quotes from Lincoln saying, if the Southern states secede, we're going to lose a bunch of revenue.
yeah, yeah.
So that was
Yeah,
part of it.
that was a big part of it. They were
Yeah,
like Lincoln wanted to, well, I don't know if it's Lincoln, but the North wanted to like make the South pay fucking huge tariffs for cotton and shit. Because I mean, South fucking, they were pumping out cotton and um, like meat, like livestock and shit like that. They had a really good economy.
and then I mean, I believe it was it Britain was funding the Confederates. Well, they were helping them. They were, I believe, it was either Britain or France was sending them, was
I
trying to
don't,
help the Southern states a little
I,
bit.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't really know. But I know that they like kind of sided with the South, but other than that, I don't really know
I believe
much
there was a
about it.
little bit of financial support there as well.
Probably.
But like I said, it ir damn, that was a good one. You totally threw off the name of the show because I called it Silent but Deadly, and then
I
you
know.
just
I had to.
ripped ass.
Oh,
Congratulations.
it's
Yeah,
deadly, and
you just did
no,
Hitler's
I
wet
don't.
dream in your basement by creating a gas chamber around
Yeah,
but no,
fucking
it irritates me when,
L'chaim.
there's those things come out, and there was a, "Oh, see, it's this way." No, it wasn't. There is a book, I had an audiobook version of it from Tom Woods called The, Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. So he starts, pre, um, revolution and goes all the way up to, like, FDR, maybe a little later than FDR, I can't remember. So he's talking about, like, hey, everybody thinks the Indians just got completely ran over, but if they took a case to court, 9 times out of 10, they won their court cases. Like land disputes and stuff. They won a lot of their cases in court. Then he gets into the Civil War a little bit. He gets into World War One. So it's refreshing to hear some other things that maybe you hadn't read or certainly hadn't been taught in school. It was just a phenomenal book. I got to get another copy of it. And there's a politically incorrect guide to the Civil War, which is highly enlightening. And they just kind of give you both sides. It's not like, here's how it is and this is it.
Right.
Like they're just like, here's information you've never heard before, probably
Yeah.
never been taught unless you took some very deep dive history classes or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's a fantastic book as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The one I read is called, I don't know if I already said it, The Battle Cry of Freedom or something like that. And it goes over everything. I mean, there's whole chapters on um like the economy of the South and North and like the differences and all that stuff, and how, whenever states became the Missouri Compromise and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, um, but it focuses on the slavery aspect of it, but it definitely doesn't make you go, oh shit, yeah, it was totally about slavery. The North said, we're gonna fucking, if you fire on Fort Sumter, we're gonna, or we're gonna take away your slaves, and they were like, oh, we're gonna secede because we want to keep our slaves, and oh, if you secede, we're gonna go to war, and all. No, it's not how it happened.
And the fact that like after the war was over, what the northern states did to the southern states is also that was pretty
Oh
out
yeah,
now, just like horrific. And they just ruined the economy. And that's the
Oh, yeah.
thing too. Like, apparently, that's still like if you get into politics, sometimes like there are politicians that are still like that. They look down their nose at the southern states because they had slavery in the 17 and 1800s. And like, I don't know if anybody told you this, but that shit stopped a long time ago.
Yeah, it was kind of a
But it's still a
you know?
thing. Like, they
Yeah.
still look down on them. It's like, dude, for
Yeah.
people who, I mean, I literally can't let go of history in such an odd way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was watching a show one time, and I can't remember what it was, but they were talking about, Missouri and Kansas, the rivalry, and between, like, well, it used to be, we're not in the same conference anymore, but, like, Mizzou and
Kansas
Yeah.
Jayhawks. Yeah.
Yeah, and, it showed, like, these Kansas fans at a football game, like, outside a football game, and they're like, why do you think there's a rivalry?" And this one girl's like, "Well, because Missouri's they're a bunch of slavers, and we were abolitionists and shit." And I'm just like, "No, that's not why we're fucking rivals, you dumb shit."
I mean, we did have the border wars, and apparently, I
Yeah.
believe, didn't Kansas come over and steal slaves from Missouri?
I don't know.
Is that
I don't know about that.
there was some Kansas did a lot of shady shit. They weren't like some like holier than now.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a link to a YouTube video one time on like he had did a really good historical account, but I never took the time to like sit down and really watch it. But let's see. John Brown, Bleeding Kansas, or the Kansas-Missouri Border War, was a series of violent civil confrontations between the people of Kansas and Missouri that occurred immediately after the signing of the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854. So, yeah, I don't know. This is from Wikipedia. So, the conflict was characterized by years of electoral fraud, raids, assault, and murders carried out into Kansas Territory and neighboring Missouri by pro-slavery border ruffians and retaliatory raids carried out by anti-slavery free staters. 56 political killings were documented during the period, and a total may be as high as 200. It was called a tragic prelude or overture to the American Civil War, which immediately followed it. So the conflict centered on the question of whether Kansas, upon gaining statehood, would join the Union as a slave state or a free state. The question was of national importance because Kansas' 2 senators would affect the balance of power in the U.S. Senate, which was bitterly divided over the issue. So let's see. Missouri, a slave state since 1821, was populated by many settlers with Southern sympathies and pro-slavery views, some of whom tried to influence the Kansas decision by entering Kansas and claiming to be residents. The conflict was fought both politically and between civilians, where it eventually degenerated into brutal gang violence and paramilitary guerrilla warfare. So both sides sought and received help from outside, with the pro-slavery side receiving aid from the federal government as Presidents Franklin Pierce and James Buchanan openly supported the pro-slavery partisans. And then Kansas was admitted as a free state during the secession crisis that led to the Civil War.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Like I said, I haven't watched the video. I need to actually go back and watch it because apparently the guy did a really good job of like laying it out. But apparently both sides were not very nice to each other. And
Yeah.
I love how Kansas people are. It's because they don't see a lot of trees and houses. Everything's flat. And I think the wind just like hits them in the face hard enough and it kind of throws them off kilter sometimes.
Yeah. Plus, owning slaves makes you. Oh, no. I don't know what I was going to.
It makes you privileged.
Yeah, it makes you smart. somehow.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, history fascinates me, but finding unbiased,
Yeah.
or people who are willing to just say this is what happened
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
without political biases is pretty hard to do.
Right.
Not that I support slavery and everything, but I want to know, I want to understand what the southern states were thinking at the time. I
Yeah.
just want to, I not like, well, yeah, they had a right. They owned other people, and that's the best thing about America. No, I just want to understand the actual thought at the time on the people's mind when this shit went down. That's all I want to know. I want to get
Yeah.
both sides of the story. Don't
Yeah.
treat me like a piece of shit because I'm trying to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It's interesting too, because even in that Gettysburg movie, one of like a lieutenant, they capture a couple of rebels, and they're like, the Union guy asks like, why are you fighting this war? And he's like, why are you fighting it? And he's like, to free the slaves, of course. And I was just like, nah, that's not. Nobody would have said that. You know what I mean?
no.
And then he's like, I'm fighting for my rights. And that's what he said. So the Confederates said. So
It is interesting though, because people don't like to bring up the fact like Lincoln was putting people into prison because he suspended habeas corpus and putting journalists in jail for speaking out against the war. So everyone, and again, people like to pretend like, oh, the northern states were all about it. Like, no, they had journalists that weren't fond of it. And Lincoln's like, oh, shit, you get to go to prison. Woodrow
it makes
Wilson did the same thing.
it makes you wonder how Lincoln would be portrayed today if he wasn't assassinated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Kennedy. Like, you talk to people from back in the day, they were like, oh, I fucking hated that guy. You know what I mean? But he's just like, oh, he was shot, so now he's somehow a great man. I don't know. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
just
I think Kennedy was still better than a lot of other previous presidents, and especially ones after, because he was at least a little more willing to say something fishy's going on here, and we
yeah,
need to look into this. And then, like, I can't remember the name of the comedian that talks about. He's like, I think every time a president gets elected, they walk into a room, show him the Zapruder film, and they're like, "This is what happens if you don't do what we say. Just your
yeah,
head gets turned into a canoe."
yeah,
And I was like, you know what? That's a pretty solid point, man. That's a pretty freaking solid point. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Because Trump was talking about wanting to release a bunch of documents, and it never happened.
yeah. It just,
Somebody must have said, "Nah, you're not doing that."
dude, I guess they're trying to align. Somebody put an amendment in to like where basically Israeli forces and American forces would be united under this plan. And I'm like, the fuck are we doing now? Like, what's that shit?
United? How?
So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this guy's like, no shit. Someone's bringing forth an amendment to a bill that if you're a dual citizen, like U.S. Israeli dual citizen, but you are enlisted in the IDF, and let's say you're in the United States and you're living after you serve, you will get the same benefits that U.S. soldiers get. You'll get the GI Bill, you'll get your care at the VA, and I'm like,
Why?
what the fuck is that? Like, why are we doing that? Like, we
Yeah.
are so entangled with him now. I haven't got to watch the video yet, but it was apparently Thomas Massey got on the floor of the House today and honored the guys that were on the USS Liberty, the ship that got attacked by Israeli forces, to honor them today on the House floor. It took
Awesome.
up, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes and just laid it all out. I'm like, good for him.
Yeah, he
He
doesn't.
said he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Dude, he's just taking all his parting shots before he leaves
Oh,
office.
for sure.
He's like, okay, $32 million to make me lose in a primary, but I still have 7 months. I can make your life's living hell And I'm like, please do. Shove it in their butthole all the way in
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
to the shoulder.
Yeah. I wonder how afraid he is.
He doesn't act very afraid.
Because
He may be holding it all in. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be terrified.
yeah.
I'm like, every time I get in my car, I'd be checking the brakes and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that movie? What was that one? It was a Tom Clancy movie, where it was like a group of people got the US and like they smuggled a dirty bomb in, and the US thought the Russians did it, and then started attacks and shit. And then so they finally, like, Ben Affleck plays in it, and Morgan Freeman was in it
The Sum
too.
of All Fears. Yeah. That's
And
like
at the
the
very
only one of those Tom Clancy movies I actually watched because it came out in the theaters when I
oh,
worked there.
well, what's funny is, you see the guy at the end of the movie, he like makes his aide go down and start his car, and the guy, like, and the engine cranks over, and he's like, "Whew," and he gets out, and the guy gets in and pushes his cigarette lighter in, kaboom, blows up, because they knew, like, this guy doesn't trust us. He thinks he's gonna die. So they rigged his cigarette lighter in his car. So yeah, yes, I think about that, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if I pissed off that many people and they spent that much money in a primary and I continue to talk shit, like,
Yeah.
yeah, my butthole's probably gonna be puckered anytime I get into a vehicle, on a plane, get to my house. I'm like, I got former military, like, scoping out, checking for bugs.
It just goes to show how fucking shady that
Yeah.
shit is. I mean,
Yeah,
you
for
play
sure.
ball or you're either gonna get butt fucked in an election. We're gonna, put in somebody else and who is gonna play by the rules, or we'll just whack you.
It is insane. I don't know. It's fucking crazy to think about. Like, I saw a post the other day. This guy's like, somebody's like, "Oh, if we just made the billionaires pay more, Social Security would stay solvent." And I replied as like, billionaires don't even use it. What?
Yeah.
Why? They don't need it. Why would they have to pay? And it goes like, "Oh, come on, man! Like, billionaires, like, blah blah blah." And I go, "Do billionaires, like, affect certain part of our rights in some fashion?" Sure. I was like, how did they get that power? I was like, they bought off all the politicians.
Yeah.
So tell me how you're going to get bought out politicians to create a law to get billionaires to pay more into Social Security,
Yeah.
if they're all bought and paid for. How? And I'm like, you're not even thinking this through. Like, this is all emotional at this point. Like, oh, we got to get those billionaires. And I did put in there, if you'll pay attention to Bernie Sanders, he first got into office, he was pissed off at millionaires and billionaires. But now that he's a millionaire, he doesn't say anything about millionaires anymore. Now
Yeah.
it's just billionaires,
Yeah.
because he's a millionaire. So he's not going to go against his own thing. Now, no one responded after I put that down, because I was just like laying out the question. How do you propose you're going to fix this if they're all bought and paid for? You think just one party's bought and paid for? Come on, man.
No.
Pay attention. Wise up a little bit. So sometimes when people post that stuff, I can't help myself. Sometimes I just like, there's no point.
Right.
That one, I was like, I cannot sit there and just keep scrolling and not go, do you know how retarded you sound right now?
Yeah.
I don't say that, but I want to say it. You know how
Right.
retarded you sound right now?
Yeah. I can't stand that shit. Billionaires should pay their fair share. It's like, what's that? What is that? What is fair? Like, I don't know how much they pay, but if it's nothing, yeah, it's fucked up, but they're probably doing it legal, and who's making it legal? Fucking lawmakers, who are the same ones that are bitching about the politicians, probably, or the billionaires. It's like,
yeah, it's like the thing where they incentivize, again, the company that I worked for before the place I work now. Like, he admitted every 5 years he had to buy a new vehicle, so you have some kind of write-off. So they almost force you in, because you only get like 3 or 4 years of writing that vehicle off on your taxes before
Right.
it's just done. So
Yeah.
in order to save yourself a little bit of money, they're basically almost forcing you into buying more vehicles. And it's like, this is really stupid.
Well, it's
Like, why are we, huh?
same with like farmers.
Yep.
Like you don't keep old machinery because it costs you more to fucking keep the old machinery than it would to just get a new one and write off the depreciation. It's
And
it's
I can't imagine what you go out and like if you went out and bought a combine now,
oh,
Jesus
you're gonna spend
Christ.
$750,000,
I think,
maybe.
yeah, that's fucking insane.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe not that much, but
I think it is. I think it's like, it's,
I mean, after you buy the different heads, if you need a freaking corn head and a soybean and things of that sort.
oh, so this says, this is from allmachines.com. New combine harvester packages start at 102,000 and go up to $1.1 million, depending on the brand, max power, and additional features. The most expensive combine harvester is, of course, John Deere,
Oh yeah.
starting at $1.1 million. Starting. That's the DX9 1100. And the cheapest model is CLAAS Lexion 6800, available from 102,000. Guaranteed that's a giant turd.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's going to be a big piece of shit. But I know out towards oh god dang it, what's the name of the town? You go through Gasconade. Oh, Chamois. So if you go out highway, you go through Gasconade on 19 and you continue on, and then I think it butts into, is it 89 or 100? I can't remember. Oh no, you take 100 through, and anyway, you go on. But before, there's a long straight stretch before you get to Chamois. And there are huge fields on both sides. And of course, they rotate between corn and soybeans every other year. And then they've got these, I guess you call them irrigators, but it's the ones on the wheels like you see at the sod farm.
Mhm.
So, but they've got all that bottom ground, which is prime farmland. But I'm just sitting there looking at it like, if it wasn't for the subsidies in corn and soybeans, these guys probably wouldn't grow it.
Oh hell no.
Because just the irrigation alone, plus the size of the equipment they have to plant those fields, because they're fucking huge fields. They go on and on and on and on and on, and then they go back a pretty big distance. And I drove past it one day, not ever growing up on a farm, not ever really working on one, and I'm sitting there like, that is a lot of money. And I know, especially those guys in those the river bottoms, they insure their crops. Well, most of them do every year, but the last flood we had, you get down towards the Gasconade River Bridge in Mount Sterling. One brother owns land on one side, and another brother owns land on the other side. And it flooded. We had a lot of rain that year, and I think the river got out and ruined their field. And only one out of the two brothers bought in or paid insurance that year. So one recouped his costs and the other one lost his ass.
Mm.
And it's like, I wonder how much money that was.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a documentary I watched years ago, and it was all about like Monsanto and farming regulations. And this one guy, there was a guy, he was a seed washer. So he would go to a farm, and the farmers would take so much corn and they would run it through the seed washer so they could replant the next year without going to the MFA and paying for like whatever the what's the name of this shit, the spray,
Yeah,
Roundup resistant corn or
Yeah.
whatever, right? And Monsanto found out about it, took him to court, and he's like, I'm going to be in court until I'm completely broke, because he broke a patent law. He's like, I don't have a lab where I'm taking apart their kernels of corn or their seeds and trying to figure out how they genetically modified this corn. I'm just trying to save myself some money.
Yeah.
But it was like, nope, you're going to court because you are breaking patent laws. You are infringing on copyright and shit. And I'm like, he's just trying to farm. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Hold on just a second. I gotta
Yep.
go open my vent. It's fucking hot down here.
Okay. No worries, brother. But it's pretty
I'm
jacked up. It's pretty jacked up.
Oh yeah.
And then I was seeing stuff like, so let's say you had a field butting up to your neighbors, and they made you sign an agreement. So like if he's planting like heirloom corn on his side, and you're planting like Monsanto corn on your side, and your stuff cross pollinates, and then affects his crop or whatever, or turns his, that's not Monsanto's fault. That's your fault.
Yeah.
You were going to be liable for it. And I'm like, how the hell are you writing out your liabilities? You're just passing it on to the consumer. It's like, well, you bought it. And it's like, yeah, but if that person tried to seed wash and use them again the next year, you'd sue the fucking pants off of them. So they're kind of like, I don't know. It's crazy how, I heard one time that after we invaded Iraq in 2002, 2003, that there was something passed that the farmers in Iraq were only allowed to buy Monsanto seeds.
Didn't surprise me.
Like, Jesus Christ, you can't even go into a third world country and get away from these freaking people. Like, how is this possible? But it's just like really fucked up.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy when you think about it. But
yeah.
hey, what else would you expect in the good old US of A?
Oh yeah. It's insane. And Iraq was all about liberating the Iraqi people.
That's right. Oh, I forgot. My bad.
Yeah.
And we had to give them the best seeds in the world. I'm sorry. I doubted the government. That was Eric Timmons saying that. There we go. No, I fixed it. I won't.
Passing the buck, passing the liability.
There's a couple guys that I used to work with in a certain department, and we'd be talking about firearms and something else, or how the government was intruding on something, and the guy would pick up his phone and go, "This is John Williams saying this right now," and he'd just put his phone down.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm already on a list. I know I am. Don't add me to more lists than I'm already on. What are you doing, you butt pug? What are you doing? I cornered my dog and forced her into the office today, so I wouldn't have to kennel her up, and she's just pacing.
Cornholed your dog?
Yeah, I cornholed her.
Damn. Lucky dog.
Hey, she won't listen to me. Got to get them to listen somehow.
Yeah.
Treats don't always work. Sometimes you got to fist your dog.
I hear you.
Sometimes peanut butter does not work.
Yeah. You gotta use cottage cheese.
Yeah. What was that?
Louis C.K.
Come on my cat's face once. Shame on me. Come on my cat's face twice.
Yeah. He's telling a story about he put cottage cheese on his dick and let his dog lick it off. Like,
he was like talking about jerking off in his room, and the cat walked in. He's like, I came on my cat's face.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been in there watching me.
Yeah.
It's like that Dave Attell where I had it on my phone. Talking about it. He's like I'm the John Claude Van Hand of masturbating. He's like, I like to do it romantically though. He's like to light a candle next to my bed, and when I finish, I try to blow out the candle. He's like, never invite me to a birthday party.
Holy shit. Oh, here's another thing I wrote.
A note.
What made me? It's a note.
It's a note.
Think of it, but like, if time travel was possible, would you think that they would draft you into old wars, like as like a punishment? Like, Matt, no jail time for you. You're going back fighting the Confederacy, so you're going to be on the losing side. You're going to Gettysburg, bitch.
Yeah, that does pose an interesting question, because you're thinking like, if you went back to like let's see, the U.S. got involved in World War I in 1917,
something like that, yeah.
And then you get drafted, and you go through some training, and you're just in a trench with nonstop artillery
Yeah.
dropping in on your head, and you have
Yeah.
nowhere to go except running towards another trench in a suicidal manner, hoping machine gun nests don't take you out. And that's it. There is no, oh, we're gonna like so. And it's kind of like some friends of my wife's family. He's a history teacher, and before he became a history teacher, he was like doing coaching and he was doing something else. But because he was former Army, they invited him on like this school trip, and they went somewhere outside of Sullivan. And I guess there's a place, there was an old fort, and there was a battle there during the Civil War. So you kind of see where the old fort was, but the guy's like, imagine this, because it was like a huge open field, and then there was a line of trees, but it's a ways off. It might be 200 yards away. And he's like, imagine you're capturing that fort. That's your job, capturing that fort. And you're coming out of the trees, and you have to cross this amount of ground with rifle fire and cannons going off and trying to get to the fort. And you have nothing to get behind. There's no
You got one
barricades.
shot.
Yeah. And then you're reloading.
Yeah.
Like, dude, can you, like, we sit here and we watch drone warfare and we see B-2 bombers just coming in, precise bombs on something. You're like, yeah. But dude, if like back in that day where you stood like gentlemen and just pointed your gun at each other, that's fucking bonkers. Like
I know.
that, and that's the thing too. Like when we go into like these Iraq, Afghanistan, where the guerrilla warfare is, like, we're not prepared for that shit.
No.
I mean, so their son said one time they were training and it was going into like a tunnel, right? Or some kind of underground bunker. And their trainer goes, just remember, if you have to do this, there's a high chance you won't come out of it. You're gonna get shot. You're gonna get killed in there. And he's like, Jesus Christ, that's a real good feeling. But it's like they had to be up front with us, But it's like you go in there, there's a chance you won't come back out of that hole. And it's like, God damn. Yeah, I mean, I've stated a lot of times, like we have it too easy now.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we just get to watch war on TV. We
Yeah.
don't have bombs dropping in this country every day and firefights on the streets, unless you live in Chicago or some shit, you might see that, or LA.
Sure.
But generally, you don't live in a war zone. So it's easy for us to be like, oh, it's meh. Like, oh, yeah. Well, again, if you could make a time machine, drop them into World War I and go, there you go. Here's your rifle. Good luck. Good luck not having shell shock if you make it to the end of the war and not be traumatized because, I mean, imagine what it feels like. You're sitting in a trench that's 10 foot deep or however deep it is, and you just hear whistling and you're just waiting for one to drop on your head.
Have you ever seen the movie All Quiet on the Western Front, like the newest one?
No.
That was
No.
on, I think it was on Netflix.
Mm-mm.
Holy shit. It's fucking like you
Intense?
feel like you're there. Oh yeah.
Is it World War I, I'm guessing?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it was like an old movie for like in the 30s or 20s, or I mean, it was maybe 30s, and then they made another one. Like I think they've made a couple remakes, but this is the newest one. And holy shit, like it starts out with these schoolboys, they're getting out of high school or whatever, and they're just they cannot wait to join the army, and they're like getting fucking uniforms that like have other people's names on them. They're like, what? That's not me. Like, oh, sorry. They ripped the tag off, but it was like, they had to reuse them. But, when they first get to the trenches, this one, all of a sudden, it's just there's bombs dropping everywhere, and you just hear this like fucking just it gets louder and louder. I don't know what it was like. I don't know if it's like tanks or what, but this one kid starts freaking out, and like banging his head on the walls. He's like, it's like holy shit! Like it makes you feel like it gives you fucking anxiety big time. But I used to work with a guy, and one time he said something interesting. He's like, some of these fucking young kids, like we almost need like a war. Like they need a real fucking war to like really humble them. Just like and to them to be in it, because talking about everybody being fucking soft and shit. I mean, he was kind of being tongue in cheek about it, but like, it's true. I mean, how many generations have, you know, almost every other generation for many years throughout American history that fucking there's huge fucking wars.
I mean, you gotta think from World War One to basically Vietnam. It just seemed like every 10 years, here come
Yeah.
another conflict. And it just um Vietnam was, well, World War II, the losses in World War II were just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Our casualties in Vietnam were insane. And it just, yeah. I when you say that too, it makes you think about, like, you get kids now that they're they're brainwashed and they think they're gonna bring on some kind of lefty revolution. They're gonna take up arms, and it's like there's a whole lot of vets in this country that are gonna, you're like, you want to start some shit, I'll show you some shit. And you want to talk about a demoralized group of people when they see, like, some a group of people that are well prepared and well trained, and like it just comes back to these guys because they did it once before, and they're pulling tactics out of the bag, and you're just, every time you turn you're getting fooled by someone. You're not, they get this, oh, I played Call of Duty all the time. Okay, cool. But
Yeah.
when these guys are fed up with your nonsense and you come to their neighborhood and you think you're going to take over and they start firing, you might get a couple warning shots. After that, bro, you either tuck tail and run, or you're going to watch all your buddies drop around you.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are not gonna fuck. There will be a fuck around to find out, but it won't take very long.
No. It's like,
And
where is it? Somewhere in, is it Washington or
yeah,
Oregon?
those
Maybe.
with the Bloods. You're talking
Oh,
about the? Oh, okay.
I don't think so. What I was talking about, how there's like
Oh yeah,
neighborhoods
they
that
had
are like
that stupid.
barricading
Yep.
shit.
What was that? What did they
I'm
call
talking
it?
about like now.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Chaz or whatever it
Yep,
was. Was
Chaz.
it?
No, they're either in Washington or Oregon. Back in the 80s, there was a former, I don't know if he's special ops or not, moved in this neighborhood and there were some Bloods around, threatened him,
I heard
and he
about
invited all his military guys over and they had a shootout. And it did not end well for the Bloods. They ended
that.
up
Yeah.
tucking tail and running. And it's like, Jesus Christ. That's it's a story you just fall. It's like a killdozer type of thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
you automatically go, if you hadn't have fucked with those people like that, you wouldn't have had these consequences. But you thought you and your buddies had some Uzis and shit, and you were like top dog, and you were just gonna teach this guy a lesson. Like, it's not how it works.
No.
You're gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
So yeah, they strategically place themselves upstairs and behind shit. Like, they weren't like up to out in the open. It's just no. I'm gonna, when you get in the sights.
Yeah.
That was in the 80s. Say, imagine if they did that now. Who would get in trouble?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know if it's true. I got to look this up. I just saw a post the other day. A guy from the UK came to America and was visiting someone, was shooting like an AR, right? Had some pictures of it, put it on social media. He lands back in the UK and is arrested for the post. Again, I don't know if that's true, but if that is true,
Probably there's people over there getting arrested for memes.
yeah, which is,
you know,
what a bunch of pussies, man.
oh my God. And then you saw I think it was the UK, where the cops tried to arrest these two, I don't know what they were, Middle Eastern guys or something. And fuck, what did they do? They fucking beat up this woman cop, and the cops got in trouble. Like the guys were like, I don't remember all the details, but it was just so ass fucking backwards. And then
Okay, go ahead.
you got the
Sorry.
people like putting barricades up or like blockades or whatever up outside the ICE detention centers and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't we just fucking? What are we doing about that? Like the media, the fucking left wing politicians are all fucking sticking up for these fucking people. It's like, god damn it. I don't care what you think about ICE or whatever, but it's like there needs to be some finding out with these people. I'm sorry. It's just get the fuck out of the way.
So, and this is from firearmnews.com. It doesn't say, January 6, 2026. John Reschelo Booth is a mild mannered 50-year-old IT consultant from the north of England. He is not a criminal or political activist, nor has he ever been a gun owner. However, the aftermath of a trip he took to Florida in July changed his life forever. So basically, to celebrate his 50th birthday, an American friend of his invited John to visit his homestead in the Florida Panhandle over the 2025 Independence Day weekend while enjoying his time celebrating on the farm. John's friend asked if he would like to try shooting some of his firearms. John had never handled one and was delighted at the opportunity to try something so out of reach for most Brits. So spent the afternoon plinking at targets with pistols, rifles, and a shotgun. He said it's one of the best experiences he's ever had. John took some photos of it. A couple weeks later, John began posting photos of his trip to America on social media, including the shooting photos. That's when the trouble began. The day after John shared the photos online, police showed up at his house and informed him that there has been a complaint about a social media post he made. He asked which post, and the officer then proceeded to show him the post with his shotgun from LinkedIn. So he said, hey, that was while I was on holiday in the U.S., offered to show him the geotag of the image, ensured the officer is not in possession of any contraband firearms in his home. 10 days later, received another knock on his door. It was the same police officer. There was a second one this time. He was told that he was under arrest on suspicion of possessing a firearm and held overnight in jail. While in custody, they proceeded to take samples of his DNA and then said that his social media post was intended as a threat of violence. And the officers proceeded to ask him, how do you think this makes people feel?
Wow.
What apparently had led to the arrest was a business dispute with a former associate who had been monitoring his social media. Even though the post in no way mentioned the individual and in no way indicated violent intentions towards anyone, this individual was able to use the post as evidence of Mr. Booth supposedly posing a violent threat or posting a violent threat. Then he was released on bail. His cell phone was confiscated, and then they refused to return it to him. Then several days later, show up again, bang on his door at 1:30. Same officer under arrest again. This time they entered his home, tearing through everything, apparently searching for a shotgun or other firearms that came up empty-handed, but did confiscate every single electronic device he had, including his laptop, which he relies on work for as an IT consultant. He was once again taken to the cell and charged with breaking conditions of his bail. Jesus Christ. Released again at 4 p.m. the next day. Police wouldn't return any of his devices. They dropped the charge of firearm possession against him, instead charged him with imagery and language designed to cause offense.
He hurt somebody's feelings, and he's in jail.
Which is, what's it say? It said, John says the ordeal destroyed his life in the UK. He is no longer able to work due to his electronic devices being confiscated, and the criminal charges have severely tarnished his reputation in the community and within the business world. He told Firearm News that 1984 was supposed to be a novel, not a fucking instruction manual. And he wants to move to the U.S. now.
Good.
Wow.
I don't know how anybody lives over there.
I need to bookmark that. I need to go back and bookmark that because I would like to talk about that at some point again. Let's bookmark that page real quick. That is just that language, that imagery and language designed to cause offense. That is such woke language. And then to top it all off, dude, on top of that, one of my coworkers showed me a video, and it says Illinois is trying to pass a law right now that says every single round that you buy after the bill, if the bill would pass, every single round of ammunition would have to be serialized. And then blah, blah, blah. If you were caught with it, none of this, then it was going to be a misdemeanor, class something else, and class something else. And I'm like, you know what's going to happen? No one's going to sell ammunition in Illinois.
That's exactly.
And that's what they want. But they'll just make it more expensive because now every ammo manufacturer has to add printers to their thing or figure out how to sit there. And then you have to create serialized ammo for just sale in Illinois. So now you're causing another headache, or you end up serializing every round of ammo on every shelf in America, because instead of just segregating it out for the Illinois, and I was just like, but apparently there are other states that are also looking, like Connecticut, of course, California, some of these other states are looking at somehow trying to trace every round of ammo back to the owner. And it's just like, motherfucker. Like, again, if you could take a time machine back to our founding and said, hey, you guys want to come on a cool trip with me just for a day, 2 days? We're going to put you on the close of our time. And then you just go back and they show them the bill language and they're like, did you guys not learn from the first time? Like, who's letting this happen? How did we get here? And then it's almost like they have to go back and like, hey, we got to fix the Constitution a little bit before we sign this thing. Because these people, well, it wouldn't matter. The Constitution hasn't stopped them from doing it and these other shit, so it wouldn't matter. But they're like, they hide a letter in a bottle and says, dig it up in 2025. And you just roll it out and they're like, oh, God, this is coming. Like, it just says 2025, start another revolution. Here are the guidelines. Yeah. I wonder what it feels like to be that retarded and woke, or woke and retarded. I wonder what that feels like.
I know they feel smarter than everyone else. That's definitely what
true.
They feel.
And more virtuous, of course, right?
Yeah. To me, I can't. I just don't understand. Maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I'm the stupid one. Like, no, you should be able to say what you want, own guns. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you ever feel like that? Like sometimes, like your point of view on certain things differs from the majority of other people, and you're like, am I the crazy one? Like, am I the one that's out of my mind now? Like, am I old-fashioned and I just need to get with the times? Like, am I the crazy one here? Because sometimes you're almost led to feel that way.
Oh,
because you talk about certain things and you can just see people like backpedaling. They're like, whoa, buddy. And you're like, I'm not saying anything controversial here. I'm just saying, like, if we followed what we were supposed to, we would not be here. Like, why is that so hard for you to fathom? But they almost make you feel like you're the crazy one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. For sure. Especially when I was in college. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It was
that bad?
Oh, yeah. And that was 20 years ago.
Oh, is that bad 20 years ago? I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fucking. Yeah, it was. I would have conversations with people and I'm just like they would say something really crazy lefty, and I was just I would start laughing like, oh yeah, exactly. And they'd be like, why are you laughing? I'm like, there's a joke, right? It's like, oh my fucking God. And I wasn't even like, I didn't even consider myself like conservative or anything. I just was whatever. It just made sense to me to be a certain way. And I'm like, why do you feel like that would work? Or why do you think that that's the right way? But I think it's all about feelings and emotion and like, well, I'm a good person and there shouldn't, we need to do this and that. And it's just like Obama was, elected president when I was in college and shit. And
Ugh.
oh yeah.
Ugh.
And I didn't really care about politics back then. I mean, I paid attention to it, but I wasn't really like one way or the other. But I could see it really. That's when I really started noticing that, like, something with Obama. He really got people thinking fucking crazy, nuts, socialist, Marxist bullshit. I mean, and I swear to God, it just does not make sense to me. Like if you just think about it and think, okay, well, which I mean, I don't know. I was raised. You just you worked, you did what you had to do for you, and nobody owed you a goddamn thing. That's just how I was raised, and that's all I know. So thinking that the government should take care of you, or somebody else should take care of you, or billionaires should pay a bunch of money to the government so the government can take care of you. It's that I'm just like, that's not gonna fucking work. It just doesn't work.
Again, it goes right back to the what we were talking about earlier, right? Well, we kind of started to show off with the billionaires need to pay into more into Social Security. It's like I get it. There's you've been taught your whole life that you work till you're well, it used to be 62, then 65, not 67. God knows what it's going to be. And then you have this money waiting for you when you retire.
Mm-hmm.
And now by the time I retire, it may be gone. Who knows where it's going to be?
Oh yeah.
So I get it. You're like, but then your thought is, let's blame it on the rich. I'm like, the wealthy billionaires did not steal the money from Social Security. The government stole it to pay
Yeah.
other shit. Even though it's supposed to be in a lockbox and never be touched, they broke the law multiple times and borrowed from it and never repaid it. Whose fault is that? Ain't my fault. Ain't a
Yeah.
billionaire's fault. That was politicians back then. And it's like, I love how you just think that because someone else stole from it, you're going to force other people to pay into it. It has nothing to do with who got what. It's who stole the money.
Yeah.
The billionaires didn't steal the money. Now, interestingly enough, on that topic, though, there has been talk because of this AI boom. So I don't know, like the Wi-Fi signal dropped and then bam. I don't know what happened.
I didn't know if it was me or you.
It said connection or oops, we're having connectivity issues. And I looked down and my Wi-Fi signal dropped and then it just like doink and it went all the way back up to full signal. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway, they're saying that they're going to force Americans to what's the word I'm looking for here? Invest in AI. Basically, they're thinking that the pension funds of everyone's going to be robbed so they can keep this AI thing fully funded. Because I heard something the other day on a podcast saying that these companies are doing all this AI stuff, and you have to buy tokens in order to like use it and do all this shit. And dude, they've already dropped billions. Like some companies have already dropped billions into getting their workers to use the AI and help train it and everything else. And every time someone's using it, there's tokens. They have to buy these tokens. But what's funny is like Facebook, Meta is firing a bunch of their developers saying, like at the beginning, it was like, oh, it's cool. You guys just use this AI and do it and, help it work better and blah, blah, blah. And now a bunch of coders aren't going to be needed anymore because like, I don't remember how many people Meta's letting go because, oh, we're done. You guys are done. And we don't need you anymore. And it's insane. Like this whole AI thing is like really gonna
I'm
mess up the market.
I'm really concerned about what the government, what their involvement like is in AI, like why they want to push it so bad.
So you've probably heard about flock cameras, right? Have you heard about flock cameras?
Huh.
So cities are like Kansas City, I know has them. Columbia probably has them. St. Louis, I know has them. It's just a little camera. It's not very big. And you'll see like a solar panel up and you'll see this little like oval shaped camera looking thing sitting below it. Those flock cameras are all built into, they're all in a system. And then they can track your movements everywhere you go. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a flock camera. You just shit out a flock camera.
So what do they do? I was trying to concentrate on
They'll
not shooting
track
my
they'll
hands.
track your movements. Like if like we had a guy that did something bad here in Owensville.
I did something bad in here.
You did. And then he was trying to get back into Kansas, but they turned the flock cameras on. They caught his it's just a license plate reader, but it tracks your move. And they found him going through Kansas City, trying to get into Kansas, and Kansas highway patrol or whatever picked him up across the border there and brought him back to Owensville. And so they're trying to like, this is just for law enforcement. So if somebody does something bad, we can track criminals. For months, my wife and I have been driving across the Gasconade River Bridge in Mount Sterling, trying to figure out what the hell this thing is up on its thing. Again, just a little solar panel and is on this pole and it's a fucking flock camera. So the data centers, the AI, flock cameras, and everything are going to be tied together. So this is just a step towards tracking your movements. So, I mean, they've already talked about like after COVID, they're like, we might have these days where we think that because environmental like situations or whatever, we don't want anybody driving to work that day. So if you can't get in your car and back your car out because 2027 has the kill switches. So your car won't start that day. You're not leaving your house. And if you do, they'll have cameras everywhere monitoring you, and they'll find you and go, what are you doing out? You were told to stay home today because we have an environmental emergency. And then apparently there's been like 12 huge junkyards that have all burned up completely. And GM and Ford are doing something right now to where they don't want you buying parts. So they're trying to do something where you can't buy parts and fix your own freaking cars. I mean, they're trying to force everybody to get a car with a kill switch in it. And then that way, when the time comes, you got it called Agenda 2030 in the 15-minute cities or whatever. They don't want you to go to work that day. Your car won't start. They'll kill them all. And you just won't get to leave. You might get to walk out your door, but you will not drive in your car that day until they say it's okay. And so if you have a Ring camera, and there's one other brand, I cannot remember what it is, they now have contracts with Flock, the Flock camera system. So that means if you've got Ring cameras outside your house and they're trying to monitor, they could tie into your camera and watch and use your cameras to help catch somebody else. But it's Ring, and I can't remember the name of the other one.
Yeah, I can't either.
But yeah, They now have a contract with Flock. And Peter Thiel, and I can't remember the name of the company, he's been given data on everyone and everything for their
Palantir.
system. Palantir. They've been given everybody's in all the information that Google and everybody's been buying or selling or collecting on you. Palantir is going to have it all. And people either clueless or think I'm not. It's just like the Patriot Act. People are like, well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't have anything to worry about. Now, what do you think?
Yeah.
Because, like New Florence is getting huge data centers, one from Google and one from Amazon, put up out there. And our lovely governor goes and brags and gives them 15 years worth of tax abatements. Like, what do they need tax cuts for? Their companies are worth hundreds of billions of dollars. What the fuck why do they get a tax cut and you're going to up my property assessments by 15%?
And our electricity is going to be going up. Fucking, they're going to be using a shitload of water. I mean, it's
so there are some radio personalities. One of them's the former Speaker of the House here in Missouri, Tim Jones. He's like, oh, we went to this one today and it's got a closed loop system, so they don't have to keep bringing in fresh water to like cool the system. I'm like, I don't care, dude.
that's just in the loop. That's not the water that you have to use in the like what the fuck are they called, evaporators and shit.
Yeah, they're trying everything in their power to sit here and convince people like you and I that these data centers are okay. We have to beat the Chinese to the data centers. I haven't looked it up yet, but I have seen numbers where they said China has 10 times fewer data centers than what we're trying to do. And they have way more people. It's like, what the hell do we need all the data centers for then? China has billions more people. Again, a lot of them are in outlying areas. They may not all have like internet access and stuff, but it doesn't matter. Why does China need so many fewer data centers than what we have? That's pretty fucked up.
They're probably going to be using ours. They're probably
high into ours.
It wouldn't surprise me if they fucking owned them somehow.
Yeah, these Republican cucks are out there like, oh, you guys got to keep an open mind on these. Like, they won't even tell people. Like Festus, the big thing where like a bunch of aldermen got voted out. They're trying to recall the mayor and some other aldermen. They got plenty of signatures, but now that mayor and those aldermen are suing because they're like, you can't prove we did anything wrong. There was no misuse of power or anything like this. And I'm like, so by their legal terms, they may not have done anything wrong in the legal terms they've set aside for themselves.
Yeah.
But technically they did, because the 99.9% of people said we don't want this fucking thing in our town, and you did it anyway.
Yeah.
So you still did something wrong.
Yeah. And the fix is to get you out of office. That's the first step. Next step is
killdozers.
Yep.
And me and some of my co-hosts and another guy were talking about it, and I said, yeah, these people are acting butthurt right now, but they best be happy that people are being civilized about this, and their first thing is to recall you and take your job away, because the second round might not be so civilized. So you should be happy that people aren't beating down your door and dragging you out in the lawn and saying, fix this or something else is going to happen.
Yeah.
So you better be lucky they're being this nice. But
I think that's why I'm so intrigued by history.
Yes.
I'm so jealous that they got to live in that freedom and not have to fucking be monitored on camera everywhere you fucking go. Right before this podcast, this is kind of related. I saw a YouTube short that this guy was talking about how, like, why people aren't having kids anymore. It's like people don't go out and date, because if you go to a club and you're dancing, somebody will take a video of you. If you go up to a girl and ask her out, somebody's videotaping it and they're going to post it online. It's like people are just tired of their personal lives being shared on social media and everything, to the point where they're not even fucking
Literally
dating
not
or
fucking.
they're not fucking.
They're not doing anything.
And plus, I know every generation says this, but fucking bring a kid into this world, holy shit. I mean, especially, I know a lot of people just can't afford it.
Right.
I mean, holy shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel sorry for my kids and my grandkids, dude. And that's people like, why you get so amped? Because of my kids and my grandkids.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want them to grow up in an even shittier part of the world, or a shittier world than pardon me.
There's a bear in your lap.
There's a big black bear. But I don't want them to grow up in a shittier world. Okay. God dang, you fucking psychopath. It's just a big baby. I can't help it. You gonna look in the camera, dipshit? Yeah. Don't lick the mic. Ah, you big freaking homo. But anyway, I just, that's why some people get upset because I say things and I'm like, I don't want my kids to grow up, get down, to grow up and have to face worse. And then literally have we still have more freedom than a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
But they're going to get to a point where they're going to be just as bad social credit scores and all this crap. And I don't want I want my grandkids to have a better world than I had.
Right. That should be every parent's goal.
Fix this shit. Let's bust their balls. And I don't know, dude. It's pretty. I'm not going to lie. I have been, you know me well enough, Eric. I'm fucking retarded. Okay. But I really am. I'm not that goddamn smart. Everybody knows it. But I have been tempted so many times to run for state rep. And I'm not bullshitting when I say that.
Do it.
Because we got 2 guys on the House side of things that are really trying. And 98% of them just don't give a shit. And he gets up and he says his piece and he makes a very strong argument for doing what he's doing. And it's just, they look at him like he's an alien life form. I'm like, God, I wish we could get more people up there like him. Just every time something stupid comes out, they're like, what are we doing? What are you doing right now? And just bust their balls about it. Just bust their chops a little bit. But I would make no friends except him and like 2 or 3 other people. I would be hated because I'm like, I'm not fucking signing on for this.
I always thought if I was a politician, I would not associate with anybody. I would just be a lone wolf. You're not going to take me out to dinner. I'm not going to even talk to a lobbyist. I'm not going to talk to I'm not going to be on any committees or nothing. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to vote no on everything and just be a fucking pain in everyone's ass.
Every day, just like, what do you think, John?
Yeah.
I know, like, anything else? Like, oh.
Yeah.
2 of them. I have 2 birds, 1 for each of you. So, yeah, like I said, there's 1 guy on the House floor, on the House side that I could definitely go and talk to, and he and I would be in alignment on things. He'd be like, yep, this is shitty. And we could both be on the floor and speak our opinion. But you can watch the video feed and you just see people like this.
Oh, yeah.
Some people are watching, some people are listening. And he voted no on something his first year in office. And he said, Beep, I just had people come up like, what is wrong with you? Why did you vote against this? And he's like, I explained to him, this is why. Like, this is not kosher. This is not good. And he goes, dude, it was not fun being me that day. It was some like child protection thing, but there was something in there. He's like, this is not okay. This is not child protection. And he's like, I cannot vote yes on this. He spoke his piece, but afterwards there are people that are coming up just like, what is wrong with you? Like some people were kind of hateful about it. He's like, sorry. And he goes, yeah, it sucked to be me that day. Because he was like one of maybe two no votes. I think he might have been literally the only Republican no vote. And he's like, man, it was not fun to be me that day.
And he's a Republican.
Yeah.
See that's
He's
where that's
libertarian running as a
right,
Republican.
right.
That's what he is.
That's what sucks is you have to fucking be in one of those parties. You have to be just to even come close to winning.
Yeah, I would love to run. If enough people went and listened to my show, as much as I beat up on Republicans, sometimes it'd be like, why are you running as a Republican? Like, listen, I know that if I run as libertarian, I'm not going to win. You won't vote for me because I'm libertarian,
Yeah.
and you don't understand what libertarian is. So you're not going to vote for me. There will be people that'll vote for me that know me well enough, but a lot of them will not. And they'll just vote for a Republican name. And it's just like, so I have to do it. But again, as this rep told us on the air, is that he goes to caucus his first summer and he has to speed date with lobbyists. There's like 4 lobbyists at the table, and then like he and like 1 or 2 other people have to go table to table and introduce themselves, say what district they're from.
They have to?
Yes.
Like the Republicans make them do it. That's
Yes.
so fucking stupid.
And also found this
out. What if he doesn't though? Like what are the consequences? You know what I mean? Like what if you're just like, no, fuck you, I'm not going to do it.
I don't know.
Well, then you're not going to win a second term. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I won this one. I'm going to serve this one, and that's it.
I'm going to bust your fucking chops the whole time I'm in there.
I'm going to fucking. By the way, I'm going to. Anything I fucking find out, the public's going to fucking know about. Any shady shit you're doing.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I know also from hearing it from a couple state reps that when you start your next legislative session, I believe it's the MRHC. It might be the MHRC. It's like I think it's the Missouri House Republican Caucus will hand every Republican an envelope. And in that envelope will contain a dollar amount that they want you to raise. Now, the people that get the chairs of the committees, the people that get majority, minority, floor leader, and Speaker of the House, and then on the Senate side, Senate Pro Tem, all that, the way they get it is they raise the most money. It is not because they have the confidence of their peers and people like this is the best guy for the job. No, because the day the voting starts for those positions, there are lobbyists crawling around that building gathering votes for a particular person. So again, people think DC is horrible, and it is. You'll see the same thing in Jefferson City. And that's how the Republicans keep their majority, because they're wholly dependent on lobby money. If that lobby money goes away, they'll probably lose some seats. They might lose the governorship. So they will continue to court the lobbyists in order to keep the majority in the state. And it's the sad state of affairs, but this guy's like, it's a sad case, but if they want the majority, they will continue to bow down to lobbyists to get enough campaign funds to keep winning their elections.
So depressing.
Makes you feel real fucking warm and fuzzy, don't it?
Oh, yeah.
Piece of this shit. But that's the way it is. And I'm happy that he came on and told me that, because I was at a meet and greet with 2 state reps. And one of them said out loud, there was probably 20, 30 people there, that there's a building that you go into. It's owned by Scott Fawn, who runs, he's got his show, This Week in Missouri Politics, and he owns a couple newspapers, and he bought some more newspapers. But he has this building, and you walk down this long hallway, and you go back, and there's like a speakeasy in the back. And he's like, so reps are in there, and they're having drinks. And he goes, he watched a guy who was talking to an attractive woman. And he said he went to go to the bathroom. He did not invite the woman to the bathroom. He just like, I got to go take a leak or whatever. Starts walking to the bathroom. This attractive female follows him. And he said, people are like, click. And so I was like, oh, would you come on my show and talk about this? He's like, absolutely, absolutely. Tried to get him on, never did. I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm like, if you'll come on and say this out loud, people will like talk about it. And it'll be something people like, holy shit. Nope.
So
One time he was sick. I called, tried to email, do all the shit, never heard back. I'm like, okay.
So that woman was like a hired gun to make it look like he was doing something
Cheating on his
bad.
wife or something. Yeah. And so that same guy that told me he'd come on my show, though, who was supposed to be this big conservative champion, also found out that he got $6 million set aside in the budget for like 2-3 years in a row for a daycare center for St. Louis County police officers and employees. And then he got matching funds from another outfit, and he got matching funds out of the state budget to do that. And I was like, I thought you were all like smaller budget, limited government, and you're literally getting money set aside in the budget for this thing. I'm like, how does this work out? And he was part of an organization and then resigned from it. But then like the board of police or something was pushing for it too. And I'm like, dude, you said you were this thing and you're not. And we called him out on the show, and then we had people like, well, Tom Martz, my monthly guest. He was at another function like, why are you beating up on these conservative people? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, if they didn't do stupid stuff, we probably wouldn't beat up on them.
Right.
Like, he's a really good guy. And he's like, yes. And he also did this.
Yeah.
And we're going to call him out on it. So tough shit. Yeah. And I was like, he's like, oh yeah, they were pissed at me. Why are you guys? And he's like, they're pissed at you too. And I was like, I don't care.
Fuck
I don't care at all. That's his problem.
Yeah.
He said he was one thing. We proved otherwise, and it's on him. That is not my problem. I don't want to report this stuff. I would be happy to prove that you are right and that you truly are standing up. But then you did that, and I'm like, bro, I have to call you out. You're not doing what you say you are.
Right.
So you got some of the grassroots people got a little pissed off at me. So yeah, I probably wouldn't, if I ran and I somehow, like the stroke of luck, won an election. Ooh, I would not make too many friends in there.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to. I mean, it's just like the job I have now. I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to do a job. If it means I don't get promoted, I mean, obviously it's fine by me, but it just makes you, it really makes you, you notice that there are people that don't care about their job. They just care about, kissing ass and
like
climbing the ladder.
30,000.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's very obvious where you're just like, you bring up a concern that if we got this problem under control, things would be a lot better. And it's just like, no, we're just not going to worry about that. And you're just like, all right. We don't care that the workers are all having the same problem. And now you're expecting them to do more and get more productivity out of them, but you're not fixing very, very obvious root causes of why we're not hitting numbers. And it's like, whatever. Yeah. I guess if you don't care, I don't care. Fuck it. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I've literally said that to a boss, and he wasn't very happy about it.
Like there where you're at now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like, yeah, all right. If you don't care, I don't care. Fine by me.
Holy shit, dude.
I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, why do you you can't expect me to care about something when you're not willing to do anything about it. Get a plan together so we can get this under control. Fuck it. You're more worried about the dumbest fucking shit in the world. fucking shelves and shit.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's redesign the shelves. That's gonna fix everything.
I attended a meeting a couple weeks ago, and dude, I had to hold my tongue so bad. I was so mad because one person in particular, like, oh, this is really great, and I just sitting there like, oh, fuck. Like ready to snap. Hey, we're an hour and a half, so I'm gonna go ahead and close stream out. Pink sock, everybody.
Pink sock and titty sprinkles.
Yes. Was that?